Debt is the only monster that gets bigger when you stop looking at it. You ever notice that you ignore it for a month, and it multiplies like a hydra cut one head off, and two more pop up late fees, interest, your statement is ready, and that. One email that begins with friendly reminder, which is corporate language for pay us. Mortal, and here is the wild part, it is not just you. In late 2025. Credit card interest rates in the United States were commonly in the low 20% range, often cited around 22% on accounts that carry interest in. Total credit card debt crossed record territory, over $1.2 trillion, with average balances reported above 6,000. That is not a statistic, that is a whole civilization trying to sprint while dragging refrigerators. So today we are not doing motivation, we are doing a method you can track monthly, a method that answers the question people type into the internet at 2 in the morning with one eye open: Debt Snowball versus Debt Avalanche. Which one actually works? And we're going to go deep, but I will keep a rope tied to your waist the whole way. Meet Ada. Ada is not irresponsible. Ada is modern. Ada has a phone with 47 apps she did not download. Somehow a salary that arrives like a guest who stays 5 minutes, and debts that arrive like relatives who stay 5 months. Ada is not drowning because she is lazy, she is drowning because the system is designed so the minimum payment keeps you alive, but does not set you free. Debt is basically renting money, and interest is the rent that keeps charging you for existing. So Ada decides she is escaping, not with vibes, with a plan. By the end of this video, you will have a two-method decision rule you can apply in 60 seconds, a 7-day setup sprint. To launch your payoff plan, a monthly tracker ritual, so you always know if you are winning, a clear guide to debt consolidation. What it is, when it helps, and when it is a trap, a scam shield. Because debt is stressful, and scammers love stressed people, and yes, humor. Because we are not letting money problems steal your joy and your cash. Weapon number 1. The debt snowball. You list debts from smallest balance to largest. You pay minimums on everything, and you attack the smallest debt with all extra money until it is gone. People love it because of quick wins, fewer bills, more motivation. There is behavioral research suggesting that focusing on small balances first increases the chance of eliminating overall debt. Weapon number 2. The debt avalanche. You list debts from highest interest rate to lowest. You pay minimums on everything, and you attack the highest interest debt first. People love it because it usually saves the most money over time. Avalanche is math optimal. Snowball is psychology optimal, and here is the twist. Humans are not spreadsheets. Real repayment behavior shows that people do not always allocate payments purely to minimize interest. We use mental shortcuts. So your plan must work with your brain, not against it. Here is the rule: do not overthink it. Choose avalanche if you are consistent and disciplined, if your highest interest debt is much higher than the rest, and if you want the mathematically cheapest route. Choose snowball if you feel overwhelmed and need momentum, if you have many small debts, and if your biggest risk is quitting. Not math, because the best method is the one you finish. There is a behavior pattern called the goal gradient effect. Motivation increases as you get closer to a goal. Snowball manufactures progress early. Avalanche maximizes savings long-term. Ada chooses snowball not because she cannot do math, but because she knows her enemy is discouragement. Debt is ancient, old enough to have a beard. Societies have always worried about debt spirals, because when too many people are trapped, society destabilizes. History includes ideas about periodic clean slates to prevent permanent debt servitude. Your situation is not ancient civilization, but the principle is timeless. When debt becomes unpayable, it does not just break wallets, it breaks lives. Our mission is personal and modern, not a national reset, but Ada's reset, a plan that turns debt from a monster into a checklist. Here is the system. Step 1. Stop the bleeding. Debt payoff fails when new debt keeps appearing. Create one rule: no new debt during payoff mode, except true emergencies. If it is a credit card, stop using it. This is not moral, it is tactical. Paying extra while still borrowing is like mopping the floor while the tap is running. Step 2. Build a tiny shock absorber. Ada saves a small buffer so surprise expenses do not push her back into borrowing, not a giant emergency fund, yet just enough to stop the cycle. Step 3. Choose your weapon. 1. List 1. Order 1. Target. Step 4. Attack. With a fixed monthly number, you need one number called the debt attack number. It is the total you pay toward debt every month. Minimums plus extra debt. Payoff is not I will pay what I can debt. Payoff is I will pay this number, and that number becomes your identity. Ada launches in 7 days. Day 1. Inventory. Create a table with debt name, balance, interest rate, minimum payment, due date. Day 2. Cover minimums. Calculate total minimum payments. That is your keep the lights on number. Day 3. Find extra money, not fantasy money, real money. Ada cuts a few expenses she will not miss. Negotiates 1 bill and adds 1 income booster. If you own a treadmill that only holds clothes, congratulations. Your wardrobe has a gym membership. Day 4. Automation. Set minimums to autopay, then automate the extra payment toward the target debt. Day 5. Lock your method. Pick Snowball or Avalanche and commit. Day 6. Consolidation. Check. Ask whether lowering interest could speed escape. Day 7. Launch. Ritual. Ada prints her tracker, marks the first target, and chooses a free reward because your brain needs to feel victory once a month. Ada holds a 20-minute meeting. The Debt War Council. She updates 5 numbers: total debt balance, amount paid this month, interest paid, estimated payoff date, and wins if you track nothing else. Track total balance monthly. What gets measured gets managed. Debt is not only a money fight, it is an attention fight. Multiple bills create mental fog. Snowball reduces complexity quickly. Fewer accounts, fewer minimums, fewer hydra heads with interest rates often around 22%. Avalanche can be powerful when rates are brutal. The real answer is simple. Pick the method that keeps you paying aggressively long enough to finish. Debt consolidation combines multiple debts into one common forms. Include consolidation loans, balance transfer cards, and structured management plans. Consolidation helps when it lowers interest, keeps fees reasonable, prevents new balances, and fits your payment plan. It becomes a trap when offers sound too good to be true, when fees are high, when someone tells you to stop paying creditors, or when contracts are unclear. Never sign in. Panic. Panic is expensive. Scam. Red flags include guarantees of massive reductions, upfront fees, pressure to stop payments, hidden total costs, and no paperwork. Ada's example looks like this: card A, 120,000 naira loan; B, 300,000 naira card; C, 60,000 naira device loan; 90,000 naira minimum payments, total 44,000 naira. Ada's debt attack number is 70,000 naira, so the extra payment is 26,000. Snowball order runs from smallest to largest. Each closed debt rolls its payment into the next. That rolling force is the snowball. If essentials like rent or food are unstable, start with stability first. Call lenders. Ask about hardship programs. Protect your foundation while restructuring. When debt ends, you do not just gain money, you regain time. Payments that once went to the past now go to the future. Ada keeps paying the same attack number, but redirects it into savings, investments, and resilience. Here is the method in one breath: stop new debt, build a buffer, choose Snowball or Avalanche, set one attack number, automate payments, review monthly, use consolidation carefully, avoid scams. Debt is not your identity. Debt is a situation, and situations can be engineered into exits. Stay consistent, stay measurable, and do not fight the hydra with wishes. Fight it with a checklist.